I am Gabriel. My name means God is my strength, but I have come to know over the eons that my true purpose is to bear witness to yours. I am the messenger, and my feet have trod the star-lit paths between worlds to bring tidings to humanity. I have announced joyous births and seismic shifts in your destiny. My voice heralded the dawn of new covenants, but today my message is not for the jubilant. It is not for those whose cups overflow with ease and gladness. Today, on this Wednesday, the 9th of July, in your year 2025, I turn my gaze from the sunlit peaks of your world and look down into the shadowed valleys. I speak to you. You, whose name is long-suffering. You know who you are. You do not need me to describe your circumstances. Your pain is not a fleeting storm that darkens a single afternoon. It is the very climate of your existence. It is the air you breathe, the lens through which you see the world. It is the chronic ache in your bones, the relentless static of anxiety in your mind, the hollow chamber in your heart where joy used to reside. It is the decades spent watching a loved one fade, the years lived under the thumb of oppression, the lifetime spent battling the demons within your own mind. It is the prayer whispered night after night into a silent pillow, a prayer that seems to go unanswered, echoing back into the void from which it came. I see you, and I am here to speak of the most difficult, the most painful, the most necessary virtue known to creation. Faith. Ah, faith. I can feel the bitterness that word evokes in some of you. A word that feels like a flimsy bandage on a gaping wound. A word used by those who stand in the light to lecture those who dwell in the darkness. You have been told to have faith as if it were a simple switch to be flipped, a cure-all for a condition no one else truly understands. You have screamed in the silence. Faith in what? In a God who is either cruel or absent? In a universe that is chaotic and indifferent? Your anger is righteous. Your doubt is holy. Do not ever believe that your struggle with faith is a sign of its absence. A faith that has not been tested, a faith that has not been dragged through the mire of despair and wrestled with in the dead of night, is a faith that is brittle and shallow. It is your very struggle, your defiant refusal to let go completely, that forges a faith of tempered steel. You ask the question that has haunted humanity since the first heart broke. Why? Why must I endure this? What have I done to deserve this endless trial? Why are others blessed with ease while my path is paved with stones and thorns? I cannot offer you a simple answer that will satisfy the logic of your mind. Such an answer does not exist in your language, in your dimension of understanding. To explain the why of your specific suffering would be like trying to describe the color of the celestial winds to one who is blind. or to explain the symphony of the spheres to one who is deaf, but I can offer you a truth. I can pull back the corner of the veil just for a moment and show you not the reason, but the purpose. Think of your spirit as a raw, precious metal drawn from the earth. As it is valuable, yes. But the Creator, the divine alchemist, sees in you the potential for something infinitely more. The potential to become a vessel of impossible strength, a chalice of unparalleled brilliance. And so you are placed in the crucible. Your suffering is the fire. The heat is unbearable. It scorches and melts. It burns away the trivial, the superficial, the ego, the pride. It reduces you to your very essence. Every part of you screams to escape the flames. And you think you are being destroyed. You believe you are being consumed. But you are not being destroyed. You are being refined. The impurities are burning away. The weakness is being forged into resilience. The arrogance is being humbled into compassion. The impatience is being tempered into a profound and deep-set peace that surpasses all understanding. What emerges from that fire is a spirit so pure, so strong, so luminous, it can hold the light of God Himself. You, in your long suffering, are becoming a masterpiece of spiritual engineering. Your scars will shine with a light that will guide others through their own darkness. Now think of reality as a vast and glorious tapestry, woven on the loom of time by the hands of the divine. Your mortal life is spent on the underside of this tapestry. All you can see are the tangled threads, the chaotic knots, the discordant colors. You see a black thread of grief, a coarse gray thread of pain, a jagged red thread of anger, all seemingly random and ugly. It looks like a meaningless, chaotic mess. You tug at a thread, your thread, and cry, "This has no place here. This is a mistake. It is ruining everything." But if you could, for one moment, see what I see, what the weaver sees from the topside of the loom, you would fall to your knees in absolute awe. You would see that the dark and tangled threads you so despise are precisely what give the final image its depth, its contrast, its heartbreaking beauty. They are not mistakes, they are essential. Your thread of suffering is creating the shadow that defines the light, the sorrow that gives meaning to the joy. The final tapestry is a story of cosmic redemption, and your endurance, your faith in the midst of the chaos, is its most heroic and beautiful passage. This is the faith required of the long suffering. It is not the belief that the fire will cool or that the tangled threads will magically disappear. It is the trust that the alchemist knows his craft. It is the trust that the weaver has a design. Look at your world today, this very day. In your calendars you note that today is a day of remembrance for the followers of the Baha'i faith. They honor the martyrdom of the Bab, a messenger who, along with his followers, endured unimaginable persecution. They were not delivered from their suffering. They were consumed by it. Yet their faith was not in their own survival, but in the power of the truth for which they stood. Their long suffering was the seed from which a global faith of unity and peace is growing. They saw the purpose beyond the pain. Their story, remembered today, is a testament to this truth. Look at the nations of Argentina and South Sudan, who celebrate their independence on this day. Their freedom was not a gift, freely given. It was purchased with generations of struggle, of bloodshed, of long suffering. The men and women who began that fight did not live to see its conclusion. They held faith not in an easy victory, but in a future they were building for their children, a future they could only see with the eyes of faith. Their joy today is rooted in the soil of yesterday's sorrow. This is the faith I speak of. It is an act of profound rebellion. In a world that tells you to despair, faith is the ultimate defiance. To remain kind when you have been shown cruelty, to remain hopeful when you have been given only reason for despair, to continue to love when your heart has been shattered into 1,000 pieces. This is not weakness. This is the greatest strength in all of creation. I have been a messenger for longer than your mountains have been dust. I stood before a young woman in Nazareth, a girl named Mary, and delivered a message that would bring her immense joy, but also a sword that would pierce her own soul. Her faith was not in a life free from pain. How could it be? She would watch her son, the embodiment of divine love, be rejected, ridiculed, and brutally killed. Her faith was in the purpose of it all. Her long suffering as she stood at the foot of that cross was a thread in the tapestry more vital than any other. So to you, the one who is weary, the one who is broken, the one who is ready to give up, I say this: your endurance is not in vain. Every tear you cry is caught and held as a sacred jewel. Every moment you choose to hold on, to take one more breath, to face one more day, is a victory that resounds through the heavens. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. You are at the very heart of the divine mystery, participating in a work so profound. You will one day look back from the other side of the veil and understand its glorious necessity. Do not measure your strength by your ability to feel happy. Measure it by your ability to endure. You are not a fragile reed. You are an ancient oak whose roots have been forced to grow deep, deep into the earth to find sustenance through the long drought. You are not weak. You are a warrior. Your battlefield is unseen. Your victories are silent, but they are more significant than any conquest celebrated in your history books. Today, on this Wednesday, July 9th, 2025, your task is not to pretend to be happy. Your task is to endure, and in that endurance to have faith. Faith that the fire is not destroying you, but forging you. Faith that the tangled mess of threads is weaving a masterpiece. Faith that your long night will, in God's own time, break into a dawn so beautiful it will retroactively fill every moment of your suffering with meaning and light. I leave you not with a promise of immediate relief, but with a promise of ultimate purpose. Your pain is not a punishment. It is a privilege. It is the holy ground upon which the deepest faith is grown. Hold on. Your strength is seen, your faith is honored, and you are loved infinitely and eternally.